If the car was doing 33 and a 30, they would have found it. Put it that way. Sign the baby on the belly, and I'm like, you're going to tattoo this on your baby's belly. Some people would say tired, but I'm not. I'm actually buzzing with excitement over it. It's been an amazing 20 years of this incredible show, working with some fantastic people. And here we are 2 decades later, and it's still growing. You know, that's the amazing thing about the show, is it still grows. And I'm very proud of it. Very proud.
Same for me. I mean, I've only been doing it for 4 or 5 years now, but it's a real privilege, and I'm still now just seeing, and this world tour we've just been on for the latest series, it's been a real eye-opener to just how big the show is. So, yeah, to be part of it's an absolute honour. I hope what fans of the show and viewers will take from it is they'll get everything they've always known and loved about Wheeler Dealers in its previous forms, but we've sort of amped it up 10 times, and we've taken it to these amazing parts of the world. Visually, it looks stunning. I mean, because just the sceneries that we visited were incredible. But also there's now this sort of element of social history running through the show, or a real storyline behind why a car exists, or what it might mean to the people of, say, the outback in Australia, for example, which might be something, the same car might mean something completely different to them to what it means to someone somewhere else in the world. They have a different use case for it. And to be able to explore that and understand the different passions for different cars and why they exist, why they've come to be so big in certain parts of the world, it's been really interesting. So I think they're going to get the learnings about the mechanical engineering they've always got, the buying, the selling the cars, the tips about different marketplaces and all of that, but they're also going to get this extra element, which is the really interesting and often really entertaining side of meeting people from all over the world that share a passion for different cars sometimes that people might be used to.
We would love to be able to tell you sitting here that we've got the car back, but unfortunately it's a story that keeps on going. The Fiesta is no more. It's been stolen, and I don't think we're ever going to see it again. But we can tell your audience that if it was to be found, we would tell you immediately. So you don't have to keep asking us, because you would know by now if we'd found it. No, we wake up every day, me and Elvis, to 100 people asking, where's the Fiesta? Have you got the Fiesta back? And we still haven't, unfortunately.
Are the police still investigating it?
I think the police are, with the greatest respect to West Yorkshire Police, I think they're busy writing tickets out for people that are driving 3 miles an hour too fast. If the car was doing 33 and a 30, they would have found it. Put it that way. Yeah.
Ford Focus.
Any fast Ford. Ford Focus with an ST on the back or an RS on the back. Really good news. I've been thinking about this recently, actually. Early Audi TT, so a Mark 1 Audi TT, especially the 225. You can buy one of those for sub £5,000 now, and that's an awful lot of bang for the buck. It's a really, they were sold at a loss. They were much more engineered than what they got for them at the showroom level. So you can buy one of those sub £5,000, and if you get the 225 horsepower one, what a great car. Really good car. A Mazda MX-5 of any generation, Mazda MX-5 is an appreciating classic. But yeah, there's some really good, affordable, cheap cars out there that you can literally buy for disposable money today, have fun with them, get returning your investment, or even make a profit in the future.
Well, I think, particularly in the classic car market, it's a bit more than, I always feel it's a bit more than just buying a car that you think will deliver a profit, because you've got to have some kind of passion for that car in the first place to be able to get you through the journey. The journey of restoring a classic car is a proper roller coaster. You know, you see it in our show, there are ups and downs along the way, and if you don't have an absolute love for the car in the first place, if you're just doing it for nothing more than the profit, you probably won't get to the end of that journey. So you've got to buy something that you love and you're passionate about. If you share a passion, there's a good chance that someone else will also share a similar passion for it, and therefore there's a market for it. But I think that's the thing. Find a car that A, has the type of jobs that you've got the skills to be able to do, but also have something that you really have some passion for, because that's what will get you through the really tough times, of which there are definitely going to be some.
And in terms of more modern used cars, have you out there just looking one of your readers is out there looking for a car at the moment, it's knowledge. So you have to arm yourself with knowledge, no more than the person selling the car. And it's really easy these days. There are lots of online, lots of information online about the car that you're focusing in on, whether it's a sports car, an SUV, a convertible, whatever it is. There's going to be somebody out there that's been down that path before and spoke about it. So just fill your brain with knowledge before you go and buy the car. Also, if you've got no mechanical nous, if you don't know what you're looking at, then go and find an Elvis. You know, there must be a member of your family.
Don't go and find this Elvis, by the way, I'm busy.
Yeah. But usually, you know, there's a member in the family that would know something about cars. Take that person with you. If you can't find anyone to take with you, pay for a mechanic to go. You can pay one of the free big services out there, like the RAC, the AA, Green Flag. They all have inspection services where you can have them for the price of a tank of fuel, go and check the car out for you. They'll also do a data check, a mechanical check, so you know exactly what you're buying. But these days it's a lot easier because cars are computerized. So a lot of the information out there is online. You could just Google the registration plate and it will tell you the MOT history, the service history. These days it's a little bit easier.
Also, get yourself onto the Discovery Plus app because we've done hundreds of cars now. There will almost certainly be an episode on the car you're thinking of buying, and that episode will contain advice on buying it, selling it, and doing it up. That's a difficult one to answer. Underrated car. I mean, you mentioned it earlier, Kias. Kia's a kind of an underrated car in terms of modern cars. I think they don't get there's no glamour around a Kia, but they're actually really good cars. They seem to be selling very well, so there's a good marketplace for those.
That's a really tough question. I mean, there's not a lot of underrated cars, really. The truth is, I buy and sell cars for a living. Through my dealerships, I probably sell 600 cars a month through my dealerships. But nothing seems to be underrated these days. Every car's got a use and a purpose. You know, manufacturers don't make cars if they're underrated. And they're useless. I mean, there are some brands out there like Kia, Skoda, are really good cars. Mm-hmm. Some of the smaller Volkswagens, like the Up, are really good. You know, they get overlooked because they're so small. But actually, when you get inside, they're actually big. They've got air conditioning, electric windows, drive like a little GTI, a little sports car. So they get overlooked. But yeah, I mean, in general, manufacturers don't make an underrated car these days. They make rated cars, and they're all chasing each other. You know, for who's going to make the best car.
The Ford Focus was a good example. Although it's been around for a few years now, it was underrated in that it was just a sort of typical family saloon. But actually, now that we've had the benefit of a bit of time, it's a really, really reliable car. It's revolutionary in a lot of its technology that shaped the rest of the market. So now we can look back with a little bit of hindsight and say probably that car was a bit underrated. It's a very good car that perhaps when it was first launched didn't get the sort of credit it deserved, but now is. The really obvious one is the basic maintenance. Look after your car, and it's the simple things like, you know, oil, keeping your oil topped up, but regular oil changes. Same with the coolant system. It's the really basic stuff, which is really dull and boring for many people, but it's really important because that's going to keep the car alive. It's going to stop you having to visit a garage, which is going to cost you money. Keeping an eye on things like tyres, you know, keeping tyres in good condition and well inflated will save you money in terms of fuel efficiency over the long term. So there's lots of little tiny things, and they're all really simple that anybody can do that can save you money. Obviously on a grander scale, as we say, you know, watch the show, and there's lots of tips we give about how you can do the bigger jobs. But ultimately, those baseline, basic maintenance things are really what are going to keep your car going and save you money.
Also, wash it. Wash your car.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't wash it, take it to any supermarket today. You can find someone in the car park who wash it for you. Keep it clean and use it. You know, cars are machines. They were built to be used. They hate sitting around. If you leave a car sitting around for any length of time, we've just been away for 6 weeks making the show in Australia, and I've got a brand new Ford Ranger Raptor sat on my driveway. And I've been away for 6 weeks, come back, and it's got weeds that are growing in the windows, you know, because it's just sat there for 6 weeks. But, you know, as soon as it's washed off, cleaned, and it gets used and driven through the rain and, you know, washed off again, all that stuff disappears. So cars like to be used and driven.
I mean, I think we both hope there's going to be more specials, and we're already well into discussions about doing more of this world tour because we've been around the world in lots of different places. We've done 10 episodes, but there are so many more places that we now know this show is hugely popular in other parts of the world, that we can do more. And there are so many stories we've already fleshed out. I mean, nearly 20 more stories we already think we can tell. So we're hoping that we can do more of this, because it's been a wonderful adventure. And as Mike said at the beginning, I think we both think it's probably the best thing we've ever done, the best show we've ever made.
And not only is it the best show we've ever made, we know we can make it even better.
Yeah.
How about that? So that's quite kind of exciting for us. You know, we've come back with this amazing show that we can't wait for the audience globally to see it, and we're really excited by it. But although we've now made it and we've had that experience of going around the world doing it, we've gone, well, we could have done this a little bit better. We could have spent a bit more time on this, and we know we can improve it next time around.
We've signed lots of cars.
Lots of cars. I've signed babies before, you know, around the world. People have handed me a baby and a Sharpie and signed the baby on the belly, and I'm like, you're going to tattoo this on your baby's belly? No, it's been kind of weird, but yeah, it is a bit strange, you know, when somebody has got a car that they've spent as much as a Ferrari restoring it, and it's a, you know, a 50 grand Mini, and then they hand me and Elvis a permanent marker and say, will you sign my car? And you go, are you sure? You know, are you really sure? You just spent 100 grand on your 50 grand car, and now you want me to put my name on it? And they go, yes, please. Yeah, it's kind of weird, but lovely at the same time. It really is lovely.